Hello everybody, it's your boy Muse, and today we are going to go over whether or not you should be pulling Cissia or Seed as a new player. Yes, I'm gonna focus this video on newer players, okay? That's why we have this roster right here. Every character that you should be able to get as a new player, and the 50-50s that you could lose to, okay? I would add Bernice and Chingy and Jane, however, because we never got a free, I don't really know what the ZZZ Golden Companion Spirit thing is called, but because we never got a free one, I will keep them off this list. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So, you are wondering whether you should pull for Cissia as a new player, or Seed, or Save. Well, let's go through your account and see whether or not Cissia is a good pull. Now, Billy and Cissia is going to be a no, because Cissia helps, yes, she can help on the crit value, but she can't help on the damage aspect, right? Because she helps electric units do defense down or defense ignore damage. That's why Ambi will say yes, because she's an electric stunner, so she will get a buff, and Cissia also gives extra days to electric units, right? That will help cases like Ambi, Trigger, and Chingy. And I think this was done on purpose because Chingy is a PubSec officer, and Cissia is a PubSec something, consultant, I guess. I still don't understand this woman. So, and that is an aspect that nobody's really bringing up. The fact that Chingy is getting buffed up by Cissia, right? I hear Trigger, but Trigger doesn't even do any damage for real. While Chingy, she does some damage, and she is not important, but she does some damage, and she would love the extra days. So Chingy's getting a buff, and we were all worried about this. However, I can understand that it's still insignificant. Now, does Nicole vote yes or no to our girl Cissia? Nicole's a support. Of course she's going to vote yes. Okay? She's going to vote yes. However, Corin is going wherever Billy goes, because these are just two of the same characters, different playstyles. Sokaku is a support. Of course she's going to say yes. She's going to buff Cissia's attack. You'll have a good time. Of course the Labubu is going to say yes, okay? Just as long as you're teaming Cissia up with another electric unit, you should be fine. But yes, these supports will help Cissia and whoever she's teamed up with. Nekomata's gonna say no. Soldier 11's gonna say no. Now, you could do this. You can team up Cissia and Grace. The problem is, who are you putting in your third slot? Because you can make this happen, but who's going in that third slot? The best I could think of is either Astra or Sunna, and Sunna might actually be really good. But yeah, that team looks that team sounds bad, guys. It sounds bad. You know what? Let's put Grace back here, because at least Ambi can go on a solid team with Cissia. And look, if you just so happen to have an Anton, yippee, Cissia, Anton, Ambi, look, you got a beginner team, yippee. Technically Coleda's a stun. You can put her with Cissia. However, you would really want a really good electric carry to join you. So yes, Coleda can join Cissia. I'm going to put her back here. Now, Rena would love Cissia. In fact, Rena and Cissia go together. You know what? Rena, Cissia, and Grace could actually be a team. I don't know how far it gets you, but it could actually be a team. And next we have Lycon, and Lycon can help Cissia. Alright? He's a stunner. Just get yourself another electric unit to team up, and you have something going. So yes, Cissia gets some yeses. However, I want to say everyone behind everyone behind Ambi is more like a we can, but why would you do that? Also, apparently Seed is Cissia's best option. Unless you want to go hyper carry. So, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Cissia is a skip character. The fact that she only buffs electric units, she's not even like a lighter situation that buffs 2 elements. She only buffs electric units. And yes, she gives you some crit, but take this from someone who would pair up Lucia and Pulchra with Ye Xingguang. That crit value is not that important. Okay? So yeah, that's Cissia. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we choose Seed instead. Alright, we're gonna go into the Seed half of the video, and honestly guys, anyone who's attack, they all love Seed. Could you get better options? Sure, but every single person here loves Seed. In fact, all of the A ranks, even Nekomata, will become proper S rank units with the power of Seed, because Seed is basically Astra, but with damage. Alright? Next, we have Ambi, and Ambi's gonna vote yes. They're both electric. They love this, okay? So if you get Seed, Ambi, and Cissia, you have a great team here until you're ready to upgrade Ambi. And then, if we're talking about Nicole and Seed love each other, okay? The only reason I'm putting Nicole over everybody else here is because if you have Seed's Wenjin and you have Nicole, Seed's Wenjin gives her defense down. Nicole also shreds defense. You're adding defense down to each other. It's great. It's great stuff. You'll ignore a lot of defense. Sokaku? Of course Sokaku and Seed go together. Alright? Because Sokaku's buffing attack. Seed is buffing attack. So whichever other attacker you pair up with those two, destructive. The only attacker Seed hates is Hugo. And it's because Hugo really wants to stun his foes so he can get the totalized damage up. So he'd rather be with other stunners than be with anyone who buffs his damage, because his damage is not that great. You need those totalizes. Alright. Next we have the Labubu, and you know what? The Labubu loves Seed, guys. The Labubu will buff any attacker and anomaly, and then Seed will buff any attacker, so then you just have this attacker Billy over here getting buffed by 2 people. It's great stuff. Now, Grace, even though she is a shock unit, Grace and Seed don't go together. Don't attempt to make a shock build Seed. Please, please, take those crazy ideas out of your head. It's a bad idea. Next we have Coleta, and Coleta is a stunner, of course. She works with Seed. You get Seed with another attacker, and then you have Coleta. Boom, you're good to go. But these two are way better. Getting Seed with another attacker and another support, that just turns any team into a hyper carry team. Next we have Lycon, and honestly, you know what? Yeah, actually, yeah. No. There we go. You team up Seed with Lycon and Ellen, you got a destructive team. Alright? I feel like Ellen can work with either Lycon or the Labubu and Seed. You'll still have a very powerful team. And then we have Reina, and no, even though, yes, Seed is a shock character, she'd rather be with an anomaly character. So yes, Seed is getting nothing but yeses from everyone but 2 other shock characters. That's crazy. And then, of course, if you just so happen to have enough pulls to do so, Cissia loves Seed. However, Seed doesn't need Cissia like that. Seed will thrive, okay? Yet, you can build Seed, Cissia, and then whoever your third slot is, which I would prefer you think about electric units, right? Electric stunners. I don't believe we have an electric support. So yeah, either you put together these two with Astra, or you put together these two with shock support, right? I mean, shock stun. There you have it, everybody. It looks like Seed is the better option. Especially now that we know it's confirmed that Cissia only helps electric, and there's barely any electric options that Cissia can help. Outside of Seed, your other best option is Haramasa and Anton, because you're not going to team up Cissia with Sambi. Sambi already has a perfect team, and Cissia doesn't add to it. So, honestly, guys, this is a skip patch. Skip, okay? Either skip for S-Rank Billy and Promia, or skip for 3.0. But this patch, you don't really need anyone. If anything, I would endorse Seed over Cissia, because at least Seed helps any attack unit. Even if their synergy is clunky, she still helps all attack units. Especially the old version 1 attackers like Ellen, Juyin. They love Seed, and especially Haramasa. They love Seed. Alright, and there you have it, everyone. Now, do not pull Seed if you have Evelyn. Please don't do that. You better find your way back to Astra. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and hit the like button. If I want to 50-50 to your hearts, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll be wishing you a good night.
See you later, too.